And the final blast furnace at Port Talbot steelworks shuts down for good next week. It will mark the end of an era and see 2,000 jobs lost. The site has provided work and income for the wider community for more than 100 years. And even though owner Tata Steel has promised fresh investment with government financial support in a new electric furnace, local people and the local authority fear the long-term economic impact. As our Wales reporter Rhys Williams explains.
They call it tapping. The drill cuts through the clay to the blast furnace, releasing the molten iron. After more than a century of this process, we were given an insight into the art of this kind of steelmaking before it ends. The red-hot iron is then poured into these rail containers known as torpedoes and transported to be made into steel. This torpedo has just brought iron from the blast furnace here to be treated. It's a very labour-intensive process. The electric arc furnace, which is due to be at the bottom end of this plant, yes, is more environmentally friendly, but also requires far fewer workers to run it. To turn the iron to steel, coal is needed. It makes this form of steel making incredibly carbon intensive. This plant is the UK's biggest single emitter of carbon dioxide.
This site, making as many tonnes of steel, will have a reduction of more than 90% of the CO2 emissions compared to the current process. It's the biggest investment that has happened in the UK steel industry in my 31 years in the industry. It's a real positive to look forward to, despite the fact that clearly it's a difficult journey.
Difficult is an understatement. Around 2,000 Tata jobs will go, with thousands more lost in the supply chain. A deluge of people needing support is expected, but it's the long-term consequences that most worry local leaders already facing a multi-million-pound funding gap.
So you will see more demands in social services, you will see more people needing help from services like substance use services, mental health services, domestic abuse services, unfortunately.
This plant is more than just a place of work. Many of the town's other institutions only exist because of it, like the rugby club. None of these workers know if they'll keep their jobs. The sense of resignation at what's to come is palpable.
I think, to be honest, I think everyone knows it'd have a massive impact. Look, I want to stay here as long as I can. My situation is keep my head down, keep learning and see where the road takes me, to be honest.
You know, it's horrible, you know, seeing what's happening currently, but it's sort of the situation we've got to try and deal with now and just try and get a positive out of.
These slabs of steel will still roll off the production line on the south coast of Wales, but this Welsh icon of industry won't look the same. Rhys Williams, ITV News, Port Talbot.